It's been a rough day, bartender. I'm gonna need some of the good stuff today. I definitely hit the spot. You got a glass? Give me a glass? Oh yeah. You know what, bartender? I'll tell you what. It's been one of those days. Just give me the whole bottle. The whole bottle of Cackalacky barbecue sauce. This stuff is awesome. I'm telling you what, it's going down today. Definitely stay tuned. I'm gonna be using this for a special cook that I'm doing. Definitely gonna like it, and I'm certainly excited about it. So again, don't forget Cackalacky barbecue sauce. It's going down.
Let's go.
A lot of people do these again recently, and I really like them. I just haven't had a chance to make any, so I figure I'd go ahead. We'll start this process. I'm going to be making basically poor man's burn ends, as they call it, using this chuck roast. I got some of this smoked prime cut from our friends at Gustus Vitae. I'm going to use a little bit of that on here, and you know, you could use whatever seasoning you'd like on these chuck roasts, but this is what I'm going to do. And then when I'm done seasoning this up, believe it or not, we're not cooking this today. I'm going to actually put it into a food saver, freeze it, and the next opportunity arises, it'll be ready to go. It'll be defrosted, and then we can get into the next step of the process. I'm also going to be using this butcher blend on here as well from Gustus Vitae. I really like this one as well. Really, it goes well with beef. I really enjoy it. Steak included, obviously. But yeah, I'm going to put this on here, get this into a food saver bag, get it sealed up, get it back into the refrigerator or freezer, and like I said, we'll be able to do some poor man's burn ends, and I can't wait to show you that process. Alright, so as you can see, we're going to be going down with this chuck roast. Basically, I've had this in the freezer for a few days. Basically, I already pre-marinated it with Gustus Vitae. And like I said, you can actually see where the seasonings are literally embedded into this meat. So I'm definitely looking forward to see how this turns out. I also got a few little tips and tricks. I'm going to show you how I do my burn ends. A little bit different variation, but again, it's kind of like I've done my short ribs before. Also how I do my brisket. So again, you're going to want to stay tuned. You're going to want to see how I do this, because like I said, it's definitely going to be awesome, and I'm certainly looking forward to see how it turns out. Alright, so my little trick of the trade, if you will, is obviously getting this fire starter lit, and it works really good. So basically with that rolling, that's going to get started. And then my other trick, also just FYI, I do have some mostly post oak with the prime 6 charcoal, as well as some cherry wood. So it's a combination of the two, mostly post oak. Obviously mostly prime 6 charcoal with a little bit of cherry wood, specifically for this cook. And then I'm just going to take this charcoal, and I'm going to basically, what that does is it's going to allow it to get both the top and the bottom charcoal. And once this gets rendered and going, we're going to go ahead and of course dump that on top. And then we'll get to the next. Alright, as you can see, the prime 6 charcoal is rolling hot. Doesn't take much to get this stuff going. And as you can see below, some of that wood's already caught fire thanks to that fire starter. Just a little tip technique. So get that all on there. Fire's rolling hot, and of course we'll move on to the next step. Definitely excited about this cook. Should be a good one. I always like making chuck roast, poor man's burn ends, if you will. But I'm going to show you some of the tips and tricks that I use that I think helps make it a little bit better. So stay tuned for that, and we'll get on to it. Alright, I got my second level of grates in here, so I'm going to go ahead and put the plate in there next. This is basically just a half plate. I'm using the one from my Primo since I don't have one from Blaze. And then basically I'm going to put my pan on top of that. Alright, so I got some of the beef broth in there already on the pan. And next I'm going to throw in some cherry juice. That's right, cherry juice. I'm going to still throw some more water in there just to cut it. And because this cherry juice will evaporate quickly otherwise. And the reason I use the pan, and it's really easy if you think about it, but The real reason I do it is because I don't come back, I don't spritz the meat, I don't do anything like that. This basically acts as kind of a vapor system, if you will. Obviously the pan will get hot, it will start to evaporate, but it will steam. It will obviously keep the meat moist. It still allows for a bark to be created though, since I've got this kind of semi-indirect. So you just have to stay tuned, watch what I'm saying, you'll see what I'm talking about at the end. Definitely look forward to an awesome cook. Alright, so there's the chuck roast. It's going down, indirect, over a pan. Those Gustus Vitae seasonings are definitely embedded. I use a food saver to make that happen. You don't have to do that. You can use a binder. I've seen people use mustard. I've seen people use mayo a lot lately. I thought about doing that, but really I just had the opportunity to do this earlier in the week. So I just figured I'd go ahead and seal it up in a food saver, get it prepped. I knew what I'd be doing this weekend, and definitely look forward to see how this turns out. So stay tuned. It's going to be a good cook, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how this chuck roast turns out. Alright, so as you can see, we're right at that level where we need to be with this chuck roast. You can just look, I mean, see the color on this? It's definitely coming along nicely. We're in the 160 range, so I'm going to go ahead. It's got a nice little bark on it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this, double wrap this in aluminum foil, and then we'll get it back on the grill. Alright, so this is what I'm going to do. I usually like to lay a little bit of butter on top of this, kind of like I do like a brisket. I'm not treating it any different than I would a brisket in this scenario. So going to get that on there. I'm pour a little bit of that juice. Alright, now I'm just going to take a little bit of that juice that we had cooking under. I'm just going to pour a little bit on top of that. Now I'm just going to double wrap this in aluminum foil and get this back on the grill. Alright, so we hit 195 on this chuck roast. As you can see, it's been double wrapped in aluminum. It does look juicy and tender, obviously. Be careful there, a little hot. So now I'm just basically going to cube this up, get it into my pan right here, and then go from there. So, trying to adjust this so you can see it, but as you can see, look at that smoke ring, and it's juicy. Real juicy. So yeah, we're going to get all these cut up and get these back into the pan. Alright, as you can see the smoke ring on this chuck roast. Definitely looks good. I'm going to throw in some butter on top. Got some at the bottom too, but I figure I have some on top as well. And then we'll get the other ingredients on here. This should be good. We'll get this wrapped back up in aluminum too. So, alright, now I got some brown sugar on there. Next we're going to put some honey. So basically I'm just going to take this honey, drizzle that across there like that. I don't need a lot, just enough. And then last but not least, going with the Cackalacky. I love this sauce. It's actually made, I don't know if you knew this or not, with Cheerwine soda. One of my favorite sodas as well. I'll put the link in the bio so you can see where you can get this at, but this stuff is awesome. So I'm just going to pour that in there like that. And we'll get this wrapped and get it back into the cooker. It's so good. You can check it out there. These poor man burnt ends turned out fantastic. I'll drop the recipe down in the description below so you can see a little bit of that. But definitely let me know what you think in the comments, and obviously hit that subscribe button. I want to thank Cackalacky for that barbecue sauce. It really is amazing. If you haven't tried it, be sure to do so. It's made with Cheerwine soda. Some of the best barbecue sauce out there in the world. Until next time, it's good eating.